Every level of Illuminati explained. Level 1 represents the birth of awareness, the first step in the Illuminati's sacred hierarchy, where ignorance gives way to illumination. Known as the Initiate of Light, the candidate begins the journey from darkness into understanding. Historically, this stage mirrors the earliest teachings of Adam Weishaupt's 1776 Bavarian order, where members were chosen not for wealth or power, but for intellect, curiosity, and moral strength. The initiation takes place in a dimly lit chamber where a single candle burns, symbolizing the solitary flame of knowledge piercing through the shadows of deception. The initiate is blindfolded, signifying humanity's blindness before enlightenment. Once the veil is lifted, they swear an oath of secrecy and loyalty to the pursuit of truth. Their guiding motto is Novus Ordo Mentis, a new order of the mind. The number 1 governs this level, symbolizing unity, consciousness, and the beginning of all creation. The teachings focus on mastering reason, controlling emotion, and rejecting dogma. Every thought, every action must serve light over ignorance. The initiate studies natural law, logic, and self-governance, tools to dismantle manipulation and build inner strength. At this foundational stage, the greatest enemy is ego. The initiate learns that illumination is not granted but earned through discipline, humility, and observation. Their task is to prove worthiness, to see truth where others see illusion. Level 1 ends when the initiate realizes that the real temple of the Illuminati is not built of stone, but of consciousness itself. Level 2 represents the awakening of disciplined intellect, the transformation of curiosity into mastery. The Adept of Reason moves beyond belief into understanding, studying the structure behind reality itself. This level parallels the historical Minerval stage of the Bavarian Illuminati, where members gathered in secret academies to study philosophy, mathematics, and political order. Their mission was to replace superstition with logic and emotional reaction with rational insight. The triangle becomes the sacred emblem of this degree, representing reason, morality, and will. Its 3 points symbolize the trinity of enlightenment: thought, word, and deed. The governing number 3 embodies balance, as every decision must serve intellect, virtue, and harmony simultaneously. Adept training focuses on logic, ethics, and social influence. They learn that knowledge without empathy breeds tyranny, while emotion without intellect breeds chaos. Each adept must complete a ciphered essay on the nature of truth, testing both intellect and moral clarity. Their words are encoded within the Book of Light, the symbolic record of humanity's progress through understanding. In ritual, the adept ascends a 3-stepped platform, each step earned through study, reflection, and self-restraint. The color blue dominates the ceremony, representing wisdom and serenity. The adept's duty is to question all things, yet remain anchored in virtue. Level 2 teaches that enlightenment begins not in rebellion, but in disciplined reason, the steady light that turns knowledge into transformation. Level 3 marks the crossing from knowledge to power, the moment when the member becomes a master of shadows. Here, intellect meets responsibility, and truth is guarded rather than displayed. This degree corresponds to the historical Illuminated Minerval class of the Bavarian Illuminati, when initiates first gained access to secret communications, hidden archives, and coded symbols. The dominant color is black, not for evil, but for potential. Black represents the unseen canvas from which all creation emerges. The governing number 9 carries deep meaning, completion, and the eternal cycle, since any multiple of 9 always returns to itself. It signifies mastery of self, the ability to return to one's center no matter the surrounding chaos. The Master of Shadows learns encryption, surveillance, and misdirection. Messages are encoded through the cipher of Minerva, an intricate alphabet concealed in art and geometry. The owl, sacred to the goddess of wisdom, becomes their emblem, a creature that sees clearly through the darkness. This level teaches that revelation must be earned, not given. Knowledge in the wrong hands breeds destruction, so secrecy becomes an act of preservation. Masters oversee initiates and adepts, ensuring that each rises through merit, not ambition. Their motto, Silentium est potentia, silence is power. Level 3 ends when the initiate learns that the shadow is not the enemy of light, but its guardian, the veil that protects truth until the world is ready to see. Level 4 represents the transition from secrecy to influence. The architect of order now begins shaping the external world. Having mastered knowledge and silence, this initiate learns how to use both as instruments of creation. Historically, this level echoes the Illuminati's expansion across 18th century Europe, when members members infiltrated universities, courts, and political councils to spread the philosophy of reason beneath the veil of reform. The primary emblem is the unfinished pyramid, crowned by the radiant all-seeing eye, symbolizing the eternal construction of human progress guided by higher awareness. The governing number 13 represents transformation, death, and renewal, the destruction of ignorance so truth may rise in its place. The architect's study revolves around governance, social engineering, and moral law. They learn how to embed enlightened ideas into institutions, designing systems that guide society toward balance without revealing the hand that builds them. The motto Ordo ab Chao, order from chaos, defines their work to bring structure to confusion and purpose to power. In ritual, the architect draws a geometric sigil representing the harmony of opposites, triangles within circles, chaos within order. The color gold dominates this degree, signifying illumination through mastery. Level 4 teaches that true authority is invisible. The architect influences nations not by command, but by design, ensuring that every law, symbol, and structure reflects universal balance. To build wisely, one must first understand that all order is temporary and must continually be reborn through chaos. Level 5 marks the union of intellect and spirit, the transformation of the architect into the Magister Templi, or Master of the Temple. At this stage, the Illuminatus no longer seeks to change the outer world alone, but to align inner consciousness with universal law. The temple they now serve is symbolic, representing the mind as a sacred structure that mirrors the order of the cosmos. The governing number 7 dominates this degree, the divine constant found in nature and myth: 7 planets, 7 virtues, 7 ages of man. The ritual chamber is illuminated by 7 flames arranged in a heptagram, each representing a discipline of mastery: wisdom, patience, justice, silence, balance, mercy, and will. Together they form the spiritual architecture of enlightenment. The Magister studies Hermetic philosophy, alchemy, sacred geometry, and ancient mysticism. The color white signifies purity of purpose, while a black sash draped across the chest reminds the initiate that even light casts a shadow. The lessons of this degree teach that illumination cannot exist without contrast, and that self-knowledge is the foundation of divine power. During initiation, the Magister is told, "You are both the builder and the temple." This realization awakens higher perception, the ability to see unity between science and spirit, reason and intuition. Level 5 teaches that the true temple of the Illuminati is not a hidden sanctuary or secret hall, but the enlightened consciousness itself, a structure of infinite depth built from truth, discipline, and light. Level 6 elevates the initiate to the realm of governance, the Grand Magistrate, one of the legendary Council of Nine who shaped the direction of the order itself. This degree represents the convergence of wisdom, foresight, and moral authority. It is not merely a title, but a sacred responsibility to maintain the balance between enlightenment and control, progress and preservation. The governing number 9 defines this stage, the symbol of completion and divine order. 9 is the last single digit, representing mastery of cycles and the attainment of higher consciousness. The council consists of 9 seats, each overseeing a domain essential to civilization: knowledge, finance, law, science, faith, art, communication, nature, and secrecy. The emblem of this degree is the Ouroboros, the serpent devouring its own tail, symbolizing eternal renewal and self-sustaining wisdom. Meetings are said to occur every 49 months, 7 times 7, marking the completion of spiritual cycles and global recalibration. The Grand Magistrate's robes are crimson and black, signifying power bound by restraint. Their oath demands absolute impartiality, to serve humanity without the corruption of ego or desire. Each decree must preserve harmony among the 9 domains. This level's motto, Praesideo Lucium, I guard the light, defines its essence. Grand Magistrates are unseen architects of equilibrium, guiding history's tide from behind the veil. Level 6 teaches that the highest form of power is stewardship. To govern in secret is not to rule in darkness, but to ensure that light endures, even when the world forgets its source. Level 7 stands as the apex of the Illuminati hierarchy, the Lightbearer, the embodiment of ultimate enlightenment and unity. At this stage, individuality dissolves into pure consciousness. The Lightbearer is not merely a person, but a living symbol of illumination itself, the eternal flame that guides humanity through ages of ignorance and rebirth. The governing number 1 returns, closing the sacred cycle that began with the initiate of light. 1 represents origin and completion, the alpha and the omega intertwined. In this degree, all dualities, light and dark, good and evil, creation and destruction, are understood as reflections of one infinite truth. The ritual of ascension is performed in absolute darkness. One by one, all candles are extinguished until only a single flame remains, the inner light. The initiate must gaze into it and declare, I am the light I sought. At that moment, the distinction between seeker and source dissolves. The emblem is the radiant double triangle, forming the hexagram, symbol of harmony between between heaven and earth, spirit and matter. Gold and white dominate this level, representing divinity and transcendence. The Lightbearer governs not by command, but through resonance. Their influence is unseen yet omnipresent, rippling through art, science, and philosophy as inspiration rather than control. Their motto, Lux Omnia Vincit, light conquers all, captures the essence of eternal wisdom. Level 7 teaches the final revelation. Enlightenment is not domination, secrecy, or worship. It is self-realization. The Lightbearer carries the dawn within, reminding all who follow that the light they seek has always been their own.